Hello, friends. It's Mrs. Whitaker, and today I thought instead of sharing a Junie B. Jones book, I have one called Hedgie Blasts Off. Thought this looked like a fun book that I would share with you today. My name is Hedgie, and I want to be an astronaut. I work at Star Lab on the cleanup crew. I've never flown on a spaceship, but I take care of the Zeta Doppler rocket for the professor, the smartest scientist on Earth. He's in charge of outer space. Today, when I got to work, the professor looked worried. Hedgie, we have a problem, he says. Big Sparkler is only sending up weak bursts of sparkles. If it stops altogether, there will be no more Big Sparkler and no more flowers. Big Sparkler is on the tiny planet of Mekop, and alien tourists love to fly over it to watch it erupt and take pictures of the strange flowers that depend on the sparkles for food. This is an emergency, Hetty. Call the scientists to the lab. Oh, what is going to happen? The scientists come in and the professor explained the problem. Big Sparkler is failing, he told them, and we need to go to Mekop and find out what's wrong. I'll fly the Zeta Doppler, but it's too big to land on tiny Mekop. We need to find a rescue robot and a small rocket to go there. The scientists looked at the drawings on the blackboard and went to work. I tried to help. See, little Hedgie, he's trying to do his part to help. Soon everything was ready for the launch. Reporters came to hear about the mission. The professor explained, Big Sparkler isn't working properly, he said. First, let me show you how it is supposed to work. He put a cork in a bottle of fizzy water. Pretend this is Big Sparkler. He shook it and shook the bottle until the cork flew out and water soaked the reporters. But now Big Sparkler is sending up fewer and fewer sparkles. We think it might stop altogether, the professor said. How can you find out what is going on? A reporter asked. Me, rescue robot, the professor answered, and he threw open the hatch to the rocket. The pilot's seat was empty. He looked all around the lab. No robot. Then I opened the door to the cleanup crew closet, and there he was in the sleeper mode. Spikes jammed fast. Rescue robot had probed too soon, gotten stuck, and crashed. Oh no, what is going to happen? The reporters looked at the professor, and the professor looked at me and at Rescue Robot. Then they whispered in my ear, Hedgie, you are the only one who can fit in the rocket. How would you like to go to outer space? I nodded my head, yes. The professor turned to the reporters. A little change of plans, he told them. Me, Rescue Hedgie. No programming necessary. The professor looked at me. Come back and tell us what you find, Hedgie, and we will fix the problem. See, the robot and Hedgie look a lot alike. Zoom! The tiny planet Mekop got larger and larger before my eyes. The engines roared as the rocket zoomed onto Mekop's surface. I climbed onto the hatch. Big Sparkler's crater was in front of me. The flowers circling it had turned into little gray puffballs. Suddenly, I was startled by a low-flying saucer. It buzzed down just as Big Sparkler started to erupt. A thin stream of glittery sparkles sifted through the air and dusting the passing ship. The tourists inside shrieked and threw things out of their portholes into the crater. Oh no! More squeals, and then I saw what was falling into the crater. Coins! I walked over and looked down, and so that's what was wrong. Too many coins from all over the galaxy were filling up Big Sparkler. It needed to be cleaned out. I went to fix Big Sparkler for the professor before going home. But how could I drag out all those years of coins out of the crater? It was impossible for one tiny hedgehog. He's trying to figure out what to do. Then I remembered the bottle of fizzy water with the cork. What if I became the cork for Big Sparkler? One small hedgehog might just be perfect for the job. I took a big jump before I was too scared. He's looking, he's gonna jump in. I landed in the opening and puffed up my prickles to stop it up completely. And I told myself, just hold fast with every prickle. I felt Big Sparkler pushing against me, and the more it pushed, the tighter I held on. Hold fast, hold fast, hold fast. Kaboom! Count to 3 and lift up. 1, 2, 3. Big Sparkler erupted with a tremendous roar. I flew up and landed in a soft pile of sparkles. Giant flowers came alive right before my eyes. I raced back to the rocket and took off for home. I was making a victory orbit around Mokop when I saw the alien tourists. They were squealing with joy. Instead of throwing good luck coins into Big Sparkler, they were trying to catch them flying through space. I hope it takes years for them to collect all of those coins. Back at Star Lab, I was in for another surprise. I stood beside the professor as he said a few words to the reporters. Please meet our first hedgehog astronaut. The scientists at Star Lab proudly present Hedgie with the official astronaut star for his courage and cool thinking. I was an astronaut. The professor went on, Star Lab is grateful to everyone who worked to save Milkop and the Big Sparkler, from astronaut first class Hedgie to our new high-tech cleanup crew. 3 cheers for Hedgie. Hooray! So Hedgie went on quite an adventure. I challenge you to think of where you would go if you could go on any adventure. Maybe you choose today to go on a virtual field trip of a museum or a state park. If so, I want you to share on Blooms where you went and what you experienced. Maybe instead of that, you draw a picture of where you would want to go, or you write about it. And I ask that your grown-up take a picture of that and share that on Blooms. I would love for our group to see where everybody is going on their adventure. Good luck. Talk to you later. Bye.